Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is Royal. I've got on the screen here my best trade and my position summary for the day. So I've got the chart here for SLGB. This is the trade that I placed, and I ended up making $12,685 on it. I sized up on this aggressively, given that at the market open, this made this really nice move from about $2 a share up to 339. I was not in it during this move. I was looking for the pullback. We see the pullback here. We held the 21, held the 21 EMA again, and my winning position on this, so I actually tried this at the 952 candle, which is going to end up being right here. So I tried this 952 candle, purchasing at 320, 320, excuse me, 322, 323. Ended up selling on the next candle at 304. This broke back below VWAP, and I just closed the trade. And as it came back up through VWAP, I got really interested again. So I ended up taking this trade on the 955 candle at 316. So if we go look at the 955 candle, that's this taller candle right here. And as this came back up through the VWAP at 313, I was adding right there at 316. You can see my adds. I added at 316, 319, 320, again at 320, 322, 324, and that was all on this 955 candle. Now, as that happened, I knew that we might be just a little bit early, but we were back up above VWAP. We had reclaimed the 21 EMA. So, excuse me, we had reclaimed the 8 EMA. And so I did have to sit through this little pullback and test the VWAP again at 320. And those ads were all on the 955 candle. And then as we started to go higher on the 956 candle, I actually took in some more here. So I thought that this might press a little heavier more quickly. Instead, we got this test of the VWAP again. We held the 21 EMA again, which I liked both of those. We were in a mid compression squeeze down here on the TTM, and then this proceeded to move higher. So I took my first exit on this clear up at $4 a share was my first sell. So I have 3,500 shares. I'd put out a couple of orders prematurely and then canceled those as this was moving higher just to give this as much opportunity as I could. But I took this first position off on the 1010 candle, which is right here. This candle right 1009, yeah, 1010. So basically right leading into the 1011 candle there. So it took that first 3,500 shares off. Then on the 1012 candle, there were other 3,500 shares off. So the 1012 candle here, 1012 candle there. That high of both of those candles is 4 exactly. So I had some out at 399, sorry, right there, 399. Canceled that one. And this ended up being just a really good trade overall. At 1015 candle, I ended up selling out some more at 403. So that's the 1015 candle right there. So at 403, I had another limit order to sell and ended up taking the final exit. Now I kind of accidentally bought at 399 there, but my final exit was at 4 and 393. So overall, this ended up being a really big winner, $12,685. Now, in light of that and these other prior red trades that I had, which again kind of emphasizes this tougher day on the trading day for me, with these tougher red trades here, what I ended up noticing was that we were getting pops and then not any type of continuation. And so that's kind of what this candle looks like. This is a pop, and you should be buying this first 1 minute candle to make a new high here, and then it just sells off and you don't get any continuation. Now in this case, it sold off and then held and gave us the continuation. But a lot of these top leading stocks today just pulled back. So if we take a look, for example, at AZI, we go look at AZI, you can see how this was pre-market. We got a quick pop and then stuff just kind of faded or moved sideways the rest of the day. So that's AZI. We had PDYN, which was similar. Um, I was watching this into the market open. This is a stock that, again, it had a nice run up. I sat down and was looking to take advantage of this opportunity up through 10, and we were holding the support line, and then it just sold off. So, um, kind of the same thing even with GRI. Really big pop. I didn't trade this. I did a similar strategy yesterday where I had this wick low, so I ended up taking a position right here and assuming essentially a stop loss just below 8, and it just nuked through it. So really bad sell off on that one. That was GRI. And then FEED. So this one was actually pretty annoying, primarily because I had tried this through the market, through the pre-market a little bit. We kind of got this big tail and then sell off, and then next thing you know, this curled up nicely from here. I didn't trade it through any of these times because I was gone for the morning, but ended up making a nice move up here up to 3. And what I'm really trying to push myself harder on is when we get these bearish histograms that I'm just staying away until we get much closer to this flip back to positive. You can even see here though, now this is around noon Eastern, and so there's usually not a lot of volume at that point anyway. But if we take a look at this as we come up back up through the pre-market high, this gets interesting through the pre-market high because you've kind of recaptured that. Maybe you're going to push high of day. But on this transition to strong bull, these EMAs, these exponential moving averages, they end up lining out, and you do make, you do get a nice little move higher because these exponential moving averages kind of line out through here. Now, if you had taken this, you probably got stopped out, but as this recovers the 21 EMA, this again is a nice setup. So as I mentioned, I was away from the computer, so I didn't end up trading any of that, but that turned out to be a nice move. A nice move. And I should back up. I wasn't actually away from the computer. I was trading the other stock that I showed you prior, which was SLGB. So that was the one that I was focused on through this move in here in the morning time. So, anyways, feed curled up while I was trading SLGB. That's fine. As I mentioned, overall, it ended up being a much more challenging day. I did end up $95 green on the day, and I caught really everything that I felt like I could have on SLGB. So, I wasn't trading just to get back to even. It was literally that's what the move gave, based upon when I took these entries and did my ads as the stock was proving me right. So, anyways, another good learning day. As I mentioned, I am trading in a simulator. If you're struggling to find that consistency, I would definitely encourage that. And just as a recap for my month so far, if we go take a look at January, it's been a phenomenal month. We have had a lot of stocks moving very actively. Here you can see that I've got my January up and posted, as well as here's my December. And November was rough. It was really interesting to note that when I really started to focus on those 4 key principles I've been talking about. Number 1, assume that you're wrong until proven otherwise. Number 2, expect to be uncomfortable. Number 3, add when you're right. And number 4, never add when you're wrong. And as I started implementing that strongly into my trading in December, I've seen a massive improvement in my execution, my consistency. There'll be a small $95 green day here, and then we've just got 2 more days of this week, and of course then we'll have the weekend is the 31st, so just 2 more trading days for the month of January, Thursday and Friday. I'll work to just take it slow, not push too hard, not overextend, really stay focused on taking those initial starter positions, and then if the stock's proving me right, looking to add as the stock moves higher. So that's my recap, up just barely over $20,000 on the month thus far. There'll be, as I said, another little $95 there, and then we'll see what Thursday and Friday bring. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.